What's going on, guys, and welcome back to the channel. First things first, I just want to say a huge thank you for just subscribing to the channel. Right now we're over 500. Last time I checked, we're even close to 600 subscribers, so thank you for watching, thank you for subscribing. I'm hoping that you're able to get a lot out of these videos that I'm making. And also, I launched my website, so Zone of Action. If you've been following along with the case study, I've done a soft launch with it. I'll drop the link down below if you just want to check out what I have so far. But basically a soft launch in that I took the password off of the page, but I'm not driving any traffic through advertising or doing any promotions quite yet. For today's topic, we're going to talk about Google Search Console. Basically what Google Search Console is allowing you to tell Google that you have content that you want it to access and crawl all the pages. It's something that you should do right after you launch, and if you already have a store that's launched, it's something that you should do ASAP. You want Google to be able to access your website and index it properly so that you can show up in search results. So today I'm going to walk you guys through how to basically set up Google Search Console specifically for a Shopify store and kind of the benefits and what you can get out of it. Let's get into it. Okay guys, so we're going to jump right into this video. Basically I'm going to show you guys how to set up Google Search Console. We can talk about a little bit of what you can do in Search Console, and we're just going to kind of go through the ins and outs of getting it set up and how to make the best use of it right away. So like I said in the intro, I launched my website Zone of Action, and basically I've got all my products up. I did sort of a soft launch so that my website's not password protected, and I want to just kind of polish it off now before I start running any Facebook or Instagram ads or doing any shout outs, things like that. I want to make sure that I'm good to go. So one of the first things that you're going to want is to set up Google Search Console so that you can make sure that your sitemap is submitted to Google and that Google is able to basically navigate your website and all of your products can show in Google search results. Because before you focus on paid advertising, you want to make sure that your organic you're showing up organically in Google search and that your products are recognized by Google right from the get-go. Is super important to set up in the beginning of launching a website. So I'm going to show you guys the connection method that I'm going to use is going to be connecting through Google Analytics. So just make sure, go to your settings on the side, click Online Store and click on Preferences, and then under Preferences there's a Google Analytics section. I've covered how to, or that you should connect your Google Analytics account in the setup before you launch. So just make sure that you've actually set up your Google Analytics. If not, just click the Learn More and connect and set up a Google Analytics. It's really quick with a Gmail. It's completely free. Set up your Google Analytics, and then we're going to connect the Google Search Console to Google Analytics because those two things should be connected, and I'll explain why in the video in a little bit. Okay, so now that we verified that, yep, we have our Google Analytics code in our Shopify dashboard, we're going to go to our Google Analytics homepage or dashboard, the actual dashboard for reading the analytics for your website, and you're going to go down here to Admin. Under Admin, you're going to have these settings here. So if you've tried to connect to Google Search Console or played around with this, there's a couple ways that you can go about doing this. If you're starting a completely fresh account, you're going to go under Product Linking, and you have Google Ads here, AdSense, Ad Exchange, all products. There's going to be Google Search Console is going to be listed here for you if you've never done it before. You're going to click Google Search Console from here. Sorry, it's saying the same thing over and over. You're going to click it from here. If it's not listed in these products, just click All Products and then go to Google Search Console. For those of you who have tried to do this before, or maybe you've kind of messed around with it a little bit, you're going to go to Property Settings, and then you're going to scroll down to adjust Search Console. You're going to click that, and then basically you're going to have, instead of, I have my website right here that I already have connected prior to this, but instead of a delete right here, you'll have an add button, and then you're going to add the Google Search Console through this basically dashboard right here. Either way, whichever way you choose, to connect through your Google Analytics, it's going to bring you to this next screen. And this is basically just the intro screen. No matter what method you use to get here, you can literally Google Search Console and you'll get to this. But I think it's really important that you connect it through your Google Analytics to get it set up. So first things first, you're going to type in your site URL right here. So make sure that you include the HTTPS. I believe all Shopify sites are HTTPS websites. You're going to type that in, and then you're going to add the property, which this button will become blue, I believe, and you'll be able to click it. And then you're going to come to this screen. So you're going to, after you type your website in, it's going to have a finish verification status. You're going to click that, and then there's 4 ways that you can actually verify your site into Google Search Console. So you can do an HTML tag where you add a meta tag to your site's homepage that requires you to copy paste code. You can use your Google Analytics account. This is why I'm recommending that you do this, why you connect it to your Google Analytics. So if you use your Google Analytics account, you can verify basically using your tag. So it's going to go to your website and it's going to search for that tag that I showed you from the beginning, this tag right here. So if you have it already set up on your website, you're going to be able to get verified immediately. It will take you to the next screen. It will verify right on the spot. There's a couple other ways. So you can go to Google Tag Manager. I've never set it up like that. It's just the third way. Perhaps if you're not using Shopify and you're just watching this video to try to set up Google Search Console. And then last is through your domain provider. You can go through DNS settings. That probably gets a little bit tricky, and it looks like you have to do that in the old Search Console, because I know this Search Console dashboard that you're looking at, it might not be familiar if you're looking at tutorials from months ago, because they did update the interface and it is a little bit different now. So anyway, what I'm going to do and what I did is connect it through my Google Analytics. I verified, and then it's going to bring you to your dashboard. So it's really as simple as that. Okay, and I do want to say that while I said do HTTPS as the beginning of the domain right here, you also want to add properties for HTTP and just the www. I haven't done my www yet. I'll take you to the dashboard of what I'm talking about. So once you add the property, this is what the Search Console dashboard is going to look like. So the reason I say do both is that, so I have the HTTP and the HTTPS. Just for browsers that are compatible with both. I'm not sure of the complete technical background, but Google recommends that you do this, and then you just select your primary. So HTTPS for Shopify would be my primary, is what I have everything set off of. So yours will look more like this, where it'll say processing data, please check back in a few days as soon as you get into the dashboard, because it does take a little bit of time for this dashboard to populate with any kind of data. So this is what you'll see when you first log in. I did this a couple days ago, so my actual domain, I'm seeing a little bit of clicks. So the first thing that you want to do when you go to your dashboard is you want to submit your sitemap. Now what your sitemap does is basically a hierarchy of the structure of your website so that Google knows how to properly crawl it. So kind of like the navigation structure and just how your website is structured so that it knows how to quickly navigate and knows the content on your site. So you're going to want to go to under index, click sitemaps, and then you're going to want to add a new sitemap right here. So basically where you can find your sitemap for all Shopify stores, if you're using like a WordPress site, this is a little bit differently. I know some people use an app called Yoast, but for Shopify, luckily, all you have to do is go to your domain. So for me, it's shopzoa.com, and then /sitemap.xml. Now you can type that into your browser and just kind of take a look at it. For most people, just looking at that is not actually going to really tell them a lot, but you're going to want to copy paste this last part, sitemap.xml, and you're going to want to copy it and paste it right here under add a new sitemap. Just make sure that matches up with what basically your website of what you're trying to do, and then you're going to click submit, and then under submitted sitemaps, you're going to see that when you submitted it, when it was last read, a status. So if it was able to read sorry about that, if it was able to read the actual sitemap and then how many URLs it discovered. So basically you can just tell the status of after you submit it. And as you update your website and add new content, you're going to want to submit new sitemaps if you're making big changes to the website, so that Google could go back, and you're basically telling Google to go back and look at the newest structure. So this isn't like a one-time thing. You can upload sitemaps as you update your website, but you want to make sure that you get this first one right out of the gate. And I would not submit your sitemap until you have like your main collections and your main products ready, because otherwise you're going to be missing a lot of the structure of your website. So that's why I did it right after I launched. And just one side note is that I did it after I took the password off my page, because I'm not sure if Google will be able to properly crawl my website if I'm still password protected. So I would, after you actually launch and take the password off your site, then you can go ahead and submit your sitemap file. Okay, so one more thing that I did was I added all of my product URLs into this search bar. So basically you can do a URL inspection, and you can have Google, basically you're going to force Google to crawl that website and index all your product pages right out of the gate. So basically I can submit a URL and then Google will crawl it, and it'll be available in Google search results immediately. So if you've kind of done your proper SEO and you want your products to show up in Google search results, I would suggest doing this. I don't know if submitting the sitemap covers all of this, but I did notice that by doing the product pages, especially my main product pages, separately, by inspecting the URL and submitting it, which I'll do a practice one for you, I was able to see it within Google search results immediately. Or within the hour, so you don't have to wait. If you don't submit your sitemap and kind of go through this Google Search Console, it could be up to 2 weeks before Google actually gets around and indexes your website. So that's why I suggest doing this kind of towards the beginning of when you launch, because you don't want to wait around 2 weeks. You want to try to get your products up within Google search results, see what keywords you're trying to rank for, and that way 2 weeks later you can start making adjustments and you're not just getting started. So as an example, this is just one of the products. So I have a hoodie right here. So what I'll do is copy this link, and I'm going to go over here. I'm going to type in my URL and search it, and it's going to retrieve the data. And then when it comes up here, so you won't see a check mark usually, or you could see a check mark, I'm sorry. It will say that the URL is on Google if it's already properly indexed. However, you can request indexing. So basically, if I was on my page right here and I wanted to call this, because there's a snake on this hoodie, and I thought don't tread on me snake hoodie is going to drive more results, and I want to index it like that, and I want to change some of my ad copy or some of my product copy, maybe change some of my pictures, and just kind of touch up the SEO on this, then I can go over here, type in this URL, and then I can request indexing. And we can just do this because it doesn't hurt your site. And you can basically force Google to go and index your site, and it will just basically crawl the page again. That way all the most up-to-date information is now within Google, any keywords that you added and all of that stuff. So this does usually take a couple minutes. So to do all of your products, if you have like a couple dozen products, it could end up taking you a long time to do. But for me, I really wanted to see my products immediately up, and I wanted to see what I was showing up for search results. So I chose to do this right out of the gate. Okay guys, so this video is basically just meant as an intro and how to set this up. I can definitely do another video on how to use the dashboard a little bit more, but just to give you a little bit of an idea, if you click performance here, you can scroll down, you can basically see how many clicks and how many impressions you've been able to get, and what your average position is for basically the search terms that you're showing up for. So, and if you scroll down, you can go to your queries, and I can see that so gym hoodies, I've had 0 clicks, but I've had 7 impressions, or Patriots sweatshirts, 0 clicks, 20 impressions. So you can see where you're ranking for keywords, what keywords you're showing up for, and that's just huge, because what kind of click-through rates you're getting, where you're showing up in Google. And this is a store that's only a few days old. I just launched this. I've already had 178 impressions off of a brand new store for free. These are all free impressions, 3 free clicks. I don't know how up to date this gets. It looks like it goes through, for me, it looks like it's behind a couple days, so this is probably even higher now. For somebody who doesn't have a lot of money to invest in Facebook ads and Instagram ads, while those all sound really awesome, this is the way that you can really scale on a budget, because this is going to be completely free traffic. All I'm going to do on a daily, weekly basis is I'm going to look at the queries. I'm going to see what kind of traffic I'm getting from clicks and impressions, and then I'm going to go back to my product pages like this, and I'm going to change up some of my keywords, and I'm going to keep monitoring it until I see my pages actually ranking. There's no secrets to this. It's just, this is kind of the part of work that people don't want to do. They don't want to kind of set this up and go through it, because the dashboards are a little bit tricky. It's a little bit tricky to set up. And SEO is not something that a lot of people really know how to do. I don't consider myself an SEO expert, but anybody can do this kind of stuff. This is pretty straightforward things. So I will cover some of these other things in another video of what you can do. It's just like there's reports where if you have broken pages or broken links, Google Search Console will tell you that, so that you can go there and fix them. Because you don't want to have like broken redirects or pages that don't exist, so you can clean that up through Google Search Console. But off of a brand new site, you're not going to have errors like that. You're not going to have issues. So off the bat, you just want to get your sitemap in, make sure your products are indexed. That way you can start tracking the data. Even if you might be a couple of weeks away, like I am, from really trying to push your store, you're at least collecting data and you're ranking in Google, and you're taking advantage of the tools that you already have. And then my last side note is the reason also why we connect this to Google Analytics. One, because I really do like to have my, you want to have all your suite of tools all connected, because a lot of data passes back and forth between the two. So if I go to my homepage of my Google Analytics account, I can show you just like one benefit of having this. Just going really slow right now. So if I go down to my acquisition, I believe it's under acquisition, I can go to Google Search Console. I can go to my landing pages or queries. There's a couple different things that I can do, but basically I can see what pages people are landing on. And then if I click a level deeper, I haven't ranked a search query to land on that, but say I had like women's hoodies was a keyword that was ranking that landing page, it would show up right here. And then if I go to queries under, there might be nothing here. So my analytics just isn't grabbing any of the data right now because my account's so new. But basically analytics is able to get those queries that Google Search Console is tracking for what you're ranking on, and it's able to show you that data in analytics so that you can track it off of your referral traffic. So if we go under all traffic and we go to channels, usually there's like organic search. So for most people who don't, if you don't set up your Google Search Console connected to your Google Analytics, all they'll see is this not provided referral traffic for organic search, and they won't know the queries that are driving that organic search. But by connecting your Google Search Console, we're able to narrow in and see what is actually driving the organic search. So it's really huge. A lot of people don't do this, and it's just another layer of it's just transparency into your own data and see where your traffic is coming from so that you can optimize it. Okay guys, so that basically covers Google Search Console, of how to get it set up, how to get it kind of started, and what you should be doing out of the gate when you launch your store. If you have questions, I try to be as clear as possible in how to get this going in a short amount of time. It's a little bit of a process. Hopefully you're able to kind of work through it. But if you have any questions, just drop a comment below. I always try to respond to people's comments. If you go back to some of my other videos, I'm constantly in the comments trying to help you guys navigate through anything that you're trying to figure out. So just let me know if you need help, and hopefully this video will kind of get you set up, and you'll be ahead of a lot of the pack, because people just don't take the time to do this, especially for a new store, and you'll really see ways to grow your store without having to spend a ton of money. So hopefully this was a big help for you. Alright guys, thanks so much for watching. Thanks again for hitting the subscribers up to 500. It's huge. Now we're pushing for 1,000. If you got anything out of this video, if you could drop a like, drop a comment, let me know what you guys want to see. Subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.